Happening now, a small box in downtown Lincoln bringing a glimpse of solitary confinement. One man is telling his own story and advocating for prison reform in Nebraska.
It shouldn't be just locking them up and leaving them for months, years. It should be locked down, resolve, talk, check in, resolve the situation, come back to the yard.
Jason-Witmer is with the American-Civil-Liberties-Union of Nebraska. His goal this weekend is to teach people about solitary confinement in our state's prisons. Take a look at this box. This is a replica of a solitary confinement cell, holding only a small bed and toilet, with no windows and only a small slot for inmates to get their meals. But Whitmer says these tiny rooms can cause a world of problems.
Overwhelmingly, it does nothing but harm. So all this ties together of how we're dealing with the system and people, and not dealing with people as people, but dealing with them as just captives.
One of the people who stopped by the display calling it an eye-opening experience.
I just think it's awful. I think the way people are treated in prisons are awful. It's inhumane. You wouldn't put a dog in that. If you were to see someone put a dog in something like that, that'd be inhumane. And imagine putting a human in that for months at a time.
Whitmer was in Nebraska's prison systems both as a youth and an adult, experiencing solitary confinement firsthand.
The smallest thing oftentimes could lead to lock up into a solitary confinement cell, into restrictive housing is what we call it here. And from personal experience, I've learned I've never benefited from being locked up. In fact, it usually, if you're getting locked up for instance, aggressive action fights, you don't go in there and cool out. You tend to go in there, you get isolated, and you're angrier. You're angry at whoever you had a problem with. You're angry at the system. You're angry at everything. But you're not. You get so angry, and that you're not dealing with the issues that you need to deal with.
Whitmer says it can take a long-term toll on your mental health, especially after extended stays in solitary confinement. And he knows some people who have spent years at a time alone in prison, which is why he's fighting for reform. He hopes by educating people, changes can be made in Nebraska's prison systems. The solitary confinement replica will be in the Haymarket again tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Whitmer encourages people to share their thoughts if they come by.